Welcome to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where we share stories about folks that are mistaken for employees by irate customers. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. The first story: customers paid a huge bill for being rude. The second story: confused lady thinks I work in a dining court and takes issue with my unconventional footwear, despite logic and demonstrations of their equality. The third story: Karen attacked me and paid money for her mistake. On to the first story. They still haven't figured it out. I worked in bars and restaurants for years. During that time, I developed too many pet peeves to count and left the industry with a huge chip on my shoulder and enough trauma that I still have server nightmares years later. I miss liking humans. This is the story of how I served a table very, very badly because they were stupid in SH and because I didn't work there. Despite no longer working as a server, I guess I still look like one. I went through a phase where I only owned one pair of black Converse, 2 pairs of black jeans, and 7 black t-shirts. I called it my Batman wardrobe. It made getting dressed in the morning very easy, but it made walking through a restaurant very difficult. With this outfit in mind, I will absolutely concede that in some restaurant settings, I might have been bringing this on myself. But as common as this outfit is among service staff, it certainly isn't what most servers in most restaurants wear. It's also a very normal outfit to see on the street. Most of the time, if I'm just trying to walk to the bathroom and someone at a table tries to order from me, I'll just quickly let them know I don't work there. But one time, I'm tempted to try and justify this by outlining for you the laundry list of SH behaviors I had already witnessed from this table. In the interest of saving time, I'll just assure you that this table of 6 absolutely knew who their server was and had absolutely been treating her poorly. They were one of those groups where the first guy orders his beer, and by the time the other 5 finally tell the server their orders, the first guy is already complaining that his beer is taking too long, when the server hasn't even left the table side. Yeah, this actually happens. A lot. While returning to my table from the bathroom, one of these winners stops me with a, "Hey, get me an SH beer because I'm an amateur with bad taste." I gave him a cheerful, "Sure," and proceeded toward my table. Quickly, his repulsive girlfriend pipes up with a whiny, "And I want another one of this," gesturing towards some pink sludge in a cup, because of course that's her taste in beverages. I decided to stick around and let the whole table place orders with me before returning to my table, and wait for them to notice me sitting there with my friends. I really didn't think this would go on long. I'm seated in plain sight about 2 tables away. They don't notice. Their server is tableside again within moments, and their round is promptly ordered again, since they're definitely the type to double order items from different staff. So my prank goes unnoticed. Later, I go to visit the bartender, have a brief chat, and grab a couple of drinks. I'm walking back to my table with 2 beers in hand. "Is that mine?" a voice asks as a hand reaches out to snatch it. "Nope," I reply, and carry on. My actions had the potential to make life harder for the staff, and I'd feel bad about it if I wasn't friends with all of them, and if they hadn't been in on it. This table is so badly behaved, and have been determined to have a bad time since before they arrived. They're really a lost cause. Any attempt to clear things up for them wouldn't be worth missing out on the entertainment of messing with them. So I start looking for excuses to innocently walk past their table. I take a few more bathroom visits than I really need, and go visit my friend at the bar a couple more times. I never initiate contact with these clowns, but if they take the bait, I'll take the order. They're becoming increasingly agitated and abusive with each encounter. They tell me how bad I am at my job, and I just cheerfully correct them. No, I'm actually really good at my job. They're more infuriated at how unfazed I am at the abuse than at the several drink orders I failed to bring them. Remember, my friends and I have been seated in plain sight a few feet away, drinking and laughing it up all night. Anyhow, they drink 3 rounds despite having ordered about 9, and decide to leave. Naturally, when their bill arrives, they try to contest it, arguing that we didn't actually get most of the drinks we ordered, so they shouldn't be on the bill. The manager informs them that the bill represents only the drinks they did receive. They try to argue the point, and I just can't stand to watch my prank escalate too far, so I pipe up. "Your bill represents the drinks you ordered from your server." I don't even have to say it that loudly since I'm seated so close to them. They all turn to look at me, and I want to say they realize what's going on, but that's giving them too much credit, since one of them immediately lays in with the threats to call my boss. I offer them my boss's phone number and dare him to try and get a jeweler to fire their assistant for being bad at table service. He then tries to accuse me of putting items on his bill that shouldn't be there. You know, with the access card I use to log into the POS at the restaurant where I'm a customer. He still hasn't figured it out. Don't worry, those people wouldn't have tipped well anyway, and my table more than made up for it. The next story is A Tale of Food, Friends, Shoes, and Confused Ladies. To start off, let's introduce the cast of characters. Me. You can figure this one out. Lady, the first confused lady. BL, boss lady is lady's boss. Pertinent information. I attend a large university that has multiple dining courts spread across campus. Normally, I eat at GFF, gluten-free friendly dining court, because I cannot eat gluten, and GFF does a good job of not killing me. There's a second dining court close to my dorm that we'll call CDC, Confused Dining Court. I do not go to CDC often because there isn't as much gluten-free food there. Today I woke up at 11 a.m. I had stayed up late watching movies and playing games with the other people on my floor. I was hungry, tired, and just wanted some food. Normally I would go to GFF because I know I can eat their food, but a group of my friends were going to CDC, and I didn't feel like eating alone, so I tagged along. We walked in, swiped our meal cards, and I started looking around for a staff member to ask about gluten-free food. Eventually, one of the staff members went to grab some gluten-free bread for me. I found a space to stand where I wouldn't be in the way, pulled out my phone, and waited. The dining courts have a policy that you have to wear shoes. No one wants nasty feet out by food. I, being a rule follower, was wearing shoes. Unfortunately, they were not conventional shoes. They were sock shoes. Durable socks that have a rubberized sole. They look almost exactly like socks because the whole thing is black and the rubber isn't very visible. So there I was waiting for bread, phone out, sock shoes on. I felt a tap on my elbow. I looked up and saw a lady. Lady, did you come to the dining court without shoes? Me, no, these are shoes. This type of exchange isn't unusual. People commonly mistake my sock shoes for just socks and get curious, but it usually ends up with them being impressed and me going along my merry way. Not today. Lady suspiciously, they look like socks. Me, they are shoes. They're rubberized on the bottom. Lifts foot to show the texture difference. Lady, follow me. I'll have to ask my boss. So I followed. Food safety is important, and I knew that I was compliant with the rules, so I would explain the magic that is sock shoes to lady's boss and be back in time to grab my bread and go eat with my friends. Well, life decided to be mean today. Lady and I showed up at BL's office. Lady explained the perceived problem with my footwear, and now it was my time to shine. Me, these are shoes. Sock shoes. They have a rubberized sole. BL, I'm afraid I can't let you wear those. We have China, and if something broke, I wouldn't want you to step on anything and get hurt. Me, I understand, but these are rubberized, kind of like spray-on bed liner for trucks. I can and have stepped on sharp things with no issue. BL, now concerned about the top. I'll have to see the soles, but the top, if you drop something sharp or spilled something hot, I wouldn't want you to be injured. Most people wear tennis shoes with non-slip soles. Me, contemplates pulling out the knife I always carry to cut the top of my shoe, to demonstrate that they don't cut. Demonstrates how non-slip they are, shows the rubber on the bottom. Sharp stuff doesn't get through them, and while I understand about the hot liquids, how are these any different than normal shoes and socks? If I dropped soup on normal shoes, they'd soak through, and I'd have to take them and my socks off to avoid being burned, just like I'd have to take these off to avoid being burned in that situation. BL not backing down. Still, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave and change shoes. Me, I like unconventional footwear. Can you please clarify how shoey the shoes I have to wear are so that I can avoid things like this in the future? BL, normal tennis shoes. Ladies can't wear flats. No one can wear flip-flops even though both are considered shoes. Me, royally confused now, because this is a college campus. Everyone wears flip-flops. I'd seen many people wearing them in the dining courts, but too hungry and tired to argue. Cool. Turns towards lady. I was waiting for the dining hall supervisor, sorry I don't know her name yet, to grab me some gluten-free bread. Would you mind letting her know where I've gone? I'll be back in about 5 minutes. So I exited the office, went back to my dorm, put on my running shoes, and wandered back. I wasn't very happy. I had followed the posted rules to a T, and yet had been singled out for non-compliance despite others not following the explained rules either. Also, I paid a lot for my meal plan, and I was not about to use 2 meal swipes for 1 meal. I paid my way. I'm sure as shooting going to get my food. So I wandered back to BL's office to check that my running shoes were compliant, and to ask to get in without a second swipe. Me, always overly polite to everyone, almost to a fault. Hi, I'm back. Can I get back in without swiping again? I switched shoes. BL, of course. I thought you worked here, which is why your shoes were a problem. Me, so can I wear my sock shoes? BL, as long as you can prove they're shoes, like find somewhere where it says they're shoes, that'll be fine. Me, here's the website for my shoes. They're kinda both, a mix of the best of both worlds, but it does say they're shoes. BL scrolls through website. Well, it does say they're shoes, so you're good to wear them next time. Me, great, thanks. So she let me into the dining court. As I walked away, I heard her telling the lady who swipes the meal cards that my sock shoes are allowed, despite looking like socks, and to let me in if I show back up. Victory. Unfortunately, all the trouble of going to CDC was for naught, because in the time it took to sort out my shoes, my friends had eaten and skedaddled. The last story is Fish Shop Karen Horror. Me is me, K is Karen, M is manager. Details. I love fish and spend most of my time at local fish shop during my school break, and until now, I still enjoy going there. However, I remember my first I don't work here lady moment at that place. I'm a big fan of fish keeping, and that day when I was going to the fish shop, I wore a shirt with the word Aquascape Champions on it. Big mistake. When I was at the fish shop just checking out the fish and looking at new products, I heard Karen screaming from the other end of the shop. The shop was pretty big, about the size of your average McDonald's outlet, I assume, to help her. Now, I just assumed Karen was calling for the workers, so I just ignored and continued with what I was doing. A few minutes went by, and she was still calling for help. I rolled my eyes and just went to the shop owner who was my friend. Lo and behold, he was serving another customer, so like a great person I am, I decided to tend to the Karen. Already a little annoyed as I did not work there, I just smiled and said, "Hi, how could I help you?" The following conversation ensued. Me, "Hi, how could I help you?" K, "You, young man, I've been calling for you for a few minutes now." Me, "Sorry, but you see K, rudely interrupts. Yes, you guys always have excuses. I don't care, just tell me where's the salt." Me, "I'll check for you, just wait." As mentioned, I went to this shop and knew about everything in it, but they recently got a new section installed, and the section where they normally would place the aquarium salt changed, and I didn't know where. K, "Oh come on, what's taking you so long?" Scorns. Me, "I'm sorry, but I don't think I can help you if you're this impatient." K, "Oh, you're not gonna do your job?" Then she starts speaking in some language which the only words I could make out was tidbit and lazy. Me, "I don't work here, ma'am." K, "Do you think I was born yesterday? You're wearing the employee's shirt. I want to speak to your manager." I have mild social anxiety, and I hate confrontations, but I was getting a little peeved that she was this rude to me, so I replied with, "Me, yes, I do think you were born yesterday." By this time, the store manager was already on his way to this Karen. Manager, "Hi, ma'am, what's the problem here?" K, "This staff here does not know where the salt is, and said he would not help me." Manager, "He doesn't work here, ma'am." Karen was embarrassed and started screaming things like how I was assaulting her with inappropriate jokes. That was when I started noticing customers taping all this. Uh-oh, big no-no. Anyone with a Karen interaction knows that if you videotape a Karen, she will fight you. The Karen was beside the section where they place the driftwood, so she took a large piece of the driftwood and tried to hit the other customers and me. I got a big hit on the shoulder and it sure hurt. If you've gotten hit with a large stick on the shoulder, you would know how pain it is. The store manager and the employees restrained her, and the customers called the cops. It was not a large wound, but it sure hurt for a bit. The wood broke and she ended up paying my medical fees. The driftwood, spiderwood glued to a piece of dark chala wood, $100+, my medical fees, $300+ for x-ray treatment, and everything, and a fine. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.